There have been so many mass shootings here in this country. Columbine High School in Colorado, 15 people killed. Virginia Tech, 33 people killed. Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut, 20 little kids slaughtered. A Colorado movie theater, 12 people killed. A historic black church in Charleston, 9 people killed. A community college in Oregon, 10 people killed. The list goes on and on and on. Now, while these events, they are certainly horrific, they're frightening, they're attention-grabbing, and they're happening more and more, mass shootings still represent only 2% of the 12,563 gun violence deaths here in America. But the gun death rate in this country, it staggers over other Western powers. There are 10.64 gun deaths per 100,000 people in this country. Sounds insignificant, but wait till you hear the comparison. In France, there's only 3.01. In the UK, only 39 deaths occurred by use of a firearm in 2011 and 2012. But in Washington, D.C., about 57 deaths occurred by use of a firearm in 2013. So one city here in America is outpacing an entire country across the Atlantic when it comes to gun deaths. This is truly an epidemic that simply must come to an end. Our streets are being plagued by violence, and a common and lethal weapon to carry out this violence is the gun. Now, many people, they'll be quick to point out two things. One, people need guns for self-defense, and number two, the vast majority of gun owners are good, law-abiding citizens. Now, one of those statements are simply false, and it's that people need guns for self-defense. According to a study done by the Violence Policy Center in 2012, there were 1.2 million violent crimes in that year. And in a nation where 1/3 of people own guns, we can assume a significant chunk of the victims inside these crimes possessed a gun. But yet in only 258 of those cases, there was a justifiable homicide, or a person killing another in self-defense, using their gun in self-defense. So of the tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of opportunities for people to use their gun in self-defense, in only 258 of those cases, people actually use the gun in self-defense. Now, also according to the Violence Policy Center, guns in the home are more likely to kill or injure innocent people than to be actually used in self-defense. So the use of guns in self-defense is not only rare, but the chance of it happening is far outweighed by the chance of innocent people being harmed or even killed by these weapons. Now, the other statement is absolutely true, and it's that the vast majority of gun owners are good, law-abiding citizens. They obtained a license and they got the gun through the legal process. They use their gun for recreational purposes, and they do so for their own enjoyment and not in the name of violence. But in large cities, filled with hundreds of thousands of people, and megacities filled with millions of people, on those city streets, people are killed every day by guns that aren't used for hunting or target shooting, but they're used for the sole purpose of war. And in this case, it's a war on our streets. And all types of guns, they're still able to fall into the hands of the criminals and the mentally ill. The mentally ill are able to go out and terrorize the entire country with these routine mass shootings. And the criminals are able to continue the endless cycle of violence that's occurring in our city. We need to have a conversation in this country about guns. And the solution that comes from that conversation needs to respect the rights of good, law-abiding gun owners, but also drastically cuts down on the traumatic gun violence that has gripped this country. Now, I myself have a few policy solutions that I believe meets both of those criteria. Number one, I think we need a thorough and universal background check. We simply have to make sure that you are, one, not a criminal, and two, that you are not mentally unstable. We have to check into you to make sure that you will not cause trouble for our communities. Extreme gun rights activists, I do not understand what is so controversial about this policy. Instituting a universal background check can go a long way in making sure a significant portion of guns do not end up in the wrong hands. I also believe we need an assault weapons ban. Too many mass shootings have occurred where assault weapons were the central weapon used. And after the original assault weapons ban in our country from 1994 to 2004, after that policy expired, the number of people killed in mass shootings doubled. So that's certainly an argument for this law's effectiveness. But one question: do you honestly need an AR-15 to hunt and target shoot when this is the same weapon used to slaughter children? No. End of discussion. I also believe we need a ban on high-capacity magazines. As I just said, too many mass shootings have occurred where high-capacity magazines allow these people to kill others in a much faster and efficient manner. I do not want to make killing easier, faster, and more efficient. So a simple ban on high-capacity magazines could go a long way in lessening the frequency and severity of these mass shootings. I also believe in a national gun registry. All guns should be registered with the government. We need to keep tabs on who is supposed to be possessing each gun. Nobody's going to confiscate your gun. Nobody's going to knock down your door and arrest you. And if you're a good, law-abiding citizen, your right to keep and bear arms is still intact. But we also have a way of now knowing with whom are these weapons supposed to be. Now, one final policy I'd like to implement is a gun buyback program. We need a way of incentivizing people to actually follow the law, because otherwise these policies I just described are useless. So gun buyback programs have been successful in a handful of countries that have tried it, including nations such as Brazil, Argentina, and Australia. And I think if we implemented a national gun buyback program here in America, number one, a substantial amount of illegal weapons could be obtained. But number two, the sheer number of guns on our streets could decrease, which overall I believe is quite a good thing. So those are my solutions to this epidemic we now have in America called gun violence. I believe all these policies, they largely respect the rights of peaceful, law-abiding gun owners, but they also help curtail the devastating amount of violence that is occurring. I know many will not agree, but actually that's good. We need a conversation, a serious discussion about this issue. The two sides, we need to come together and settle this. This senseless violence must come to an end, but we cannot trample on people's constitutional rights. Now, if you disagree with this video, I implore you to leave your thoughts in the comment section below.